Hey dear soulmate, you're welcome to today's tutorial on Benny Souls. My name is Benedicta, and today we're going to making this beautiful 180-degree skirt with pleats and band. So guys, let's go over to the cutting table. So to make this, I'll be making use of this fabric. Here is my lining fabric and then the main fabric, and of course this hard net to give it volume. Okay, so first thing first, we're going to be going over the measurements we're going to be using for this particular outfit. So the waist circumference I'm working with is 28 inches, and then the length of the skirt is going to be 26 inches. Okay, but because we're going to be having pleats on our skirts, I'll be doubling the waistline, that is 28 plus 28, which gives us 56 inches. Then formula for cutting out a half circle skirt is 3.14. So I went ahead to divide my 56 by 3.14, and I had 17.8 um inches. So I added my skirt length to it, which is 26, and all I got 43.8. So plus rounding it up to 45 with because of the sewing allowances and all. So guys, first off, let me illustrate with this paper. Okay, so we know our waistline, the waist we're working with right now, it's 17.8. That is when we're cutting on fold. So let's assume these are our fabric at the width and the length. So here gone ahead to mark my 45 inches, which is the both the waist and the length of the skirt, and I'm going to fold that part and then fold again, just like so. Okay, so here I went ahead to fold it, so I folded it backward so I could see where the short part of the fabric is, or the paper rather. So here now, first thing we're going to do, let's assume that is our point, and then this is our 17 and a 0.8 inch length, and then full length of the skirt. Okay, so I'm going ahead to cut it out for us to see what it looks like, though we're going to still cut it out on the fabric. Okay, so here we have it. This is it. This is a half circle skirt, as you can see, using the basic method. Okay, and then we'll fold it like so. Here is our waistline, and there's the full length of our skirt. But for us, we're going to be having a pleat on our skirt. So going over, I've gone ahead to fold my fabric into four with the way I showed you on the paper. So next thing I'm going to be marking right now is my 17.8 inch waist measurement. Okay, I'm going to mark from the tip of the fabric, folded fabric, to where I have my 17.8. Okay, so I'm going to mark that round and then trace it out on my fabric. So next thing I'm going to be doing right now is to mark out our skirt length. So the skirt length we're working with is 26 inches. So I'm going to mark that out. So guys, here on this skirt I'm going to be having a band, a 2-inch band. Okay, that's my 28 inch right there. But because I'm going to be having a 2-inch back, I'm going to be deducting 2 inches from my 26 inches length, which is going to arrive at 24. Okay, you can make yours 2, you can make yours 1.5, or even 1, depending on. And if you don't want a band, actually you can do it like this, and then you hem it, use something to turn it over. So here I'm marking out my 24-inch skirt length, rounded from one side of the fabric to the other end. Guys, please watch how I'm doing this. I'm moving my tape along as I'm doing that, so to avoid any ups and downs, since we're not cutting a high low skirt. So to have that equal shape, I'm moving my tape as I'm moving the measurement. So guys, next thing I'm going to mark right now is our 2-inch sewing allowance. The reason why I'm marking 2 inches there is to accommodate the sewing at the waistline, and of course our hemming allowance at the lower parts of the skirt. Okay, so I'm going to do this and then we'll go ahead and cut it out. So we're cutting it out right now. So guys, if you're new on our YouTube channel, do hit the subscribe button, like, share, and drop a comment so we'll know what you feel about our YouTube tutorials. So guys, I've gone ahead to cut it out, and I'm going to use this fabric, this cut out fabric, to cut out a lining piece. So cut out a lining piece already, and then it's shorter than the main fabric. So the next thing I'm going to be doing like right now, turn the fabric to the front part, that is frontal part of the fabric, and I'm going to sew the lining and the fabric by the side. Okay, I'm going to sew it to the sides of the lining to the sides of the main fabric. So after sewing it, guys, this is what I have. Okay, and we're going to be flipping this to the front. So after flipping it to the front, I went ahead to sew them together so it doesn't move around while we work with it. You know, we cut both the lining and the fabric. Okay, so guys, next this is our hard net. I went ahead to split it into two and I joined it so we can have a long strand of hard net. And then this is how we're going to be attaching it. That's the front part of the fabric. This is the part where touches our skin. So we're going to be attaching it in between the main fabric and the lining piece. Okay, in pleats, just the way we're going to be pleating the main fabric, we're also going to be pleating it on it. Okay, so may just make your pleats as you sew. There is no required measurement or no required way as to sew it. Just sew it with pleats, but keep in mind that you have to sew to the end of the other side, and then know how to manage your hard net. So guys, next thing we're going to be doing right now is to determine where our pleats are going to be. We're going to be making our pleats. So here I'm going to be having four pleats, four casing pleats actually. So I'm going to be notching four sides, the midpoint, and then fold again into two. That is into four. I went ahead to fold into two. I made a notch, and I'm folding again into four, and I'm going to notch again. So at the end of the day, I'm going to be having um four pleats on my skirt. So I'm notching the last part of it, that is fourth one. So here we're done. I'm done notching. That's the first one, and then this is the second one, and then this is the third one. Then the last pleat will be at the zipper area. So getting our pins ready, we're going to be first off, we'll measure what we have at the waistline. Remember we doubled our waistline. So after measuring it, I noticed I had 58.5. So I'm going to be deducting my waistline plus 1 inch sewing allowance, waistline of 28 plus 1 inch zipper allowance rather, which is 29. So I deducted it from here, and what I had is 29.5. So our plate is not going to be more than 29.5. So since we're going to be having four plates, I went ahead to divide 29.5 by 4. Okay. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. I went ahead to divide it by 4 so I can know how many each plate is supposed to take. So on each part of on each notch I made earlier, since we're going to be having 7.3 inch um pleats, I went ahead to divide it by 2. So on each pleat, I took 3.6 inches like this, and I went ahead to bring it to the notched area and I pleated. So guys, watch closely so you can see and understand what I'm saying. So this is one side of our plate. Remember, we're having a casing plate, so I went ahead to measure another 3.6, pinch it and bring it to that part where we notch, giving us a casing plate there. Okay, so I'm going to do this again for us to see what I'm talking about. So moving over to the next plate, to the next notched area for our plate. From that notched area, I measured 3.6 inches. Then I moved it to that notched area. Okay, and I went ahead to pin it, to hold it down with a pin. Moving to the other side, I went ahead to measure another 3.6 inches. I brought it to the notched area again, and I went ahead to pin it. Okay, so we have two pleats already. This is, I'll go ahead and do the third one just the way we did the first and the second one. Okay, so with this measurements, we're going to be arriving at our normal waistline. Okay, and then this one, with this method, you don't have to start calculating how you are going to, how many your pleat is going to be and all. So moving to the zipper area, you know we're going to be having a zipper, so it's not possible for us to close it up. What we're going to do is that I made a mark of half an inch for our zip, and I went ahead to mark 3.6 inches, and I took it to that half inch where I marked earlier, and then I pinned. So the same thing for the other side. I marked my half inch zipper allowance. Okay, I marked my half inch zipper allowance, eh? And then I marked 3.6 inches. I pinched it and I took it to that half inch right there. Okay, so guys, I hope you understand all this that I did. Please, if you have any question, I'll be in the comment section to answer. Okay, so guys, we're done and we're going to taking it to the sewing machine, and I'm going to sew it. But first, I'm going to measure it to make sure I have the total of my waistline, including my zipper allowance. So after measuring it, I had 29 inches right there, just what we wanted. Okay, so we're going to take it over to the sewing machine, and I'm going to run a stitch across it to the other side. So while stitching, please make sure to hold in those pleats together so they don't open up, they don't gape while sewing it. So use your fingers to guide while sewing. So after sewing it, this is what we have. Okay, we're almost done with our skirt actually. And then I've gone ahead to cut out band for our skirts. Remember, we're going to be making use of 2 inches band. So I notched the midpoint. So what I have here is 2.5. Okay, unfold. 2.5 unfold, because the half inch is going to be to attach it to the skirt itself. So first thing first, I'm going to that particular part where I knot, I'm going to be, oh, first thing first, I'm going to be sewing the sides. Okay, sorry for that. I'll sew the sides of my band. Okay, I'm going to turn to the back side, flip it to the back and sew it. Then afterwards, I'll place the notched area, the midpoint, and then the midpoint of the skirt, that is the front part of the skirt. I'm going to attach it right there, and I'm going to sew it from one end to the other end. So you can do this without pinning, and you can also go ahead and pin it first without before actually sewing. So after sewing that, this is what I have. This is it, and then that's the remaining part of our band. So next thing, I'm going to take the remaining parts, fold it in, and then attach it to the midpoint of the back side of skirt. Okay, so I went ahead to pin it to hold it down, and then I'm going to be doing the same all around it. Okay, from one end to the other, folding it like so, and I'm going to run a stitch across to the other side. So after sewing it, this is what I have. Okay, our skirt is almost done. This is what I have. So at this point, you can attach your hard net from one end of the skirt to the other, and then afterwards attach your zipper, attach the zipper, create space. First of create a space for the zipper, hem into the hemline, attach your zipper, and then fold in the hem of the skirt. You can decide to weave, or you can decide to fold and hem. So attach my zipper there and then sew up the other side and hem the skirt and the lining piece. Okay, so after all done doing this, this is what we have. Our skirt is ready. It's so simple and very easy to make. I think it takes you less than 20 minutes to make, actually a maximum 30 minutes. So guys, this is what we have. This is how I attached my hard net underneath it, and then our skirt is ready. See how beautiful it is with the splits and all.